Armani, you can't. Hello, welcome to Everyday Experts. I am your host, El Poeta Guasan, or Sir Joker, as some people with unrefined minds like to call me. Just kidding. I'm your host, Sir Joker. So we are going to be speaking to a very interesting and intriguing young lady today. She is my wife Patty's very good friend. So I have the luxury of speaking to her often, and she has a very dynamic point of view about a bunch of things. Not only is she Muslim, she also happens to be following her faith, which is good, and she raises her children that way and her family that way. And it's another dynamic because I like to get different perspectives on different things. We had Helen on earlier, and she talked about motherhood and parenting and being a single mother, and we're going to talk about some similar things with Asiyah today. So I have a wonderful proverb that I found. I have two of them. But the first one is, haste is of the devil and slowness is of God. And I'm going to ask Asiyah about that. And I found an Arabic proverb that I think is very profound, and I want Asiyah's opinion on that. Write the bad things that happen to you in sand, but write the good things that happen to you on a piece of marble. So without further ado, I bring to you the exalted, the exquisite, the pain in the butt little sister that I did not want, but I have acquired somehow through adoption or stephood or something like that. My wonderful darling friend, Miss Asiyah Small.
Hey.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hi.
We will go to the quotes in 1 second. Miss Asiyah, how are you doing today?
Pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Long day, I'm tired, which happens to me every now and then, but it's okay. Yes, you're not allowed to get tired, though, because you have to be super Wonder Mom. And we're going to talk about parenting in a little while. Did you hear that the Arabic proverb I read? I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a
Oh,
second.
you want my
But
opinion now?
I'm going to get your opinion in 1 second. But first, we're going to do our opening question that we asked everybody. Miss Small, if you could be a vampire, a werewolf, or wolf, a zombie, ghost, or serial killer, which one would you pick and why?
Wait, okay, go through the option again. Wolf.
A vampire, a wolf or werewolf, a zombie, a ghost, or a serial killer. Which one would you be and why?
A ghost, so I can haunt people. Or, like, not necessarily haunt in an evil way. It depends on my mood, I guess, for that person. But definitely a ghost.
So haunt
come
them.
back
So haunt them in an evil way. Mm-hmm.
No, not necessarily.
Uh-huh. Yes, I know you, so it's okay. You can lie to your fans right now. To go back to the quote. Write the bad things that happen to you in sand, but write the good things that happen to you on a piece of marble. What does that, resonate with you, and how does it resonate with you? But first, Assalamu alaikum, my sister.
No. So with the quotes, to me, it seems like with sand, it washes away with water, or if the wind blows it away, don't focus on it. And then with marble, it's etched in and it's there forever. That's how I just said it.
Okay.
Always remember the good. Always the sand, just let it, the past is the past. Bad things.
Okay. Well, that's good. That is very in line with how you seem. That is very in line with how you seem to approach things. So you told me that you went to Islamic school, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Was it for all your formative years, or was it kindergarten to? What was that like, and how was it? Would it
It
be
was
different than a public
kindergarten.
school?
So at some point it was also homeschooled, but
Oh,
the yeah. Um, I wouldn't be able to tell you like what would be the difference between public school and Islamic school because I've never been to public school. But
mm-hmm,
I guess we didn't have as much sports teams.
mm-hmm.
We didn't have a team really. We just played for fun.
Okay.
Um, I guess in public school, more everyone's pretty much significant diversity, but not as broad as a
Mm-hmm.
public school.
Okay. Did you enjoy the Islamic school?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, you were homeschooled. How long were you homeschooled for?
Like first to third grade or something like that. It was really at a young age. I don't remember what grades it was, but I was younger.
So you did
And there
kindergarten.
was other kids who came to the. No, I think I went to school in kindergarten. There was other kids who came to the homeschool.
Oh, that's cool. Who was the teachers? Did teachers
Yeah.
come to your house, or did your family teach it?
It was the other. My mother was a teacher, and the other mother, another mother was a teacher, and there was maybe
Oh,
about 5 of it. Only like 2, my mother and another mother.
oh, okay, cool. Um, what kind of things did you actually study, and what did you learn in your school? I mean, did you learn like history and English and stuff like that, or was it more like
In homeschool or
no, when you were in your Islamic school, or was it more like seminary? And
oh,
it doesn't have to be like that, but I didn't
we
hear you
had
say.
the
I'm sorry.
classes. We had the basic classes as everyone else. We had to pick our regions. We took everything. The difference between Islamic schools, we had Islamic studies, and then we learned Arabic and Quran.
You learned Arabic and what?
Say that again.
You learned Arabic and what?
Say that one more time.
You learned Arabic to speak Arabic?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you still speak Arabic?
Some words.
So you went from you're like, I know like 2.
I know enough. No,
Okay, so like conversational.
No, I'm bad at Arabic now. If you had met me 15 years ago, maybe. But if you're not practicing, I can't keep up
Right.
with it.
Okay. So now we see a lot of people that see you being Muslim and they assume you're Black Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Is there
Muslim.
a difference between Black? Huh?
Muslim?
Yeah, is there a difference between Muslim and like the Nation of Islam?
Yeah, there's a difference. Islam is for all colors in the nation. From what I understand, is just for Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Muhammad, I think, he said that he's a prophet. We don't ascribe to that. We just think he's a man. There's nothing about him that we.
So you feel like now? Do you consider Muslim a religion? Do you consider it? You know how sort of like how Jewish people consider Jewish a culture, a race, a way of life. Is that how you view Muslim?
Oh,
Muslim.
that's a good question.
So,
Muslim.
Muslim. That's what I'm
Muslim.
saying.
No, you said Muslim, but whatever. We're gonna talk about that. Anyways,
So we've had this conversation. Me and Asiyah have had this conversation 35 times, and she doesn't like how I enunciate it. So, but I told her to keep correcting me. It doesn't mean I'm right, but I
because
want her to, Because what? I didn't hear what you said.
you keep on saying Z, it's M-U-S-L-I-M. You keep on saying Z, it's M-U-S-L-I-M, not M-U-Z-L-I-M.
I'm saying Muslim, not Muslim.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you consider it?
Answer your question. What did
I'm
you
sorry.
say?
What's that? Oh, no. I was answering it. I was asking you to go ahead to elucidate.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at you with your SAT word. All right. So I take it as a way of life. I
Okay.
guess you can kind of compare it to Judaism there in a culture, but being Black is my culture as well. So being Black American and Muslim, I have like two cultures in a sense.
Which one do you consider yourself first?
Muslim.
Oh, interesting. Is that because you've been very steeped in the culture and the way?
I guess so. I never really thought about it like that, but yeah. Because being Black has like so many different cultures. You could be Black and African and have one culture. You could be West Indian and be Black and have another culture. You could be Trinidadian Black and have another culture. So.
So then, how would you feel? Because you brought up the honorable Elijah Muhammad. How do you feel? Or do you guys study like Malcolm X and sort of his teachings when he was? But do they call it radical Islam still? I'm not positive.
I don't know what they be doing. I think he has a good movement, or I should say the nation has a good movement for African Americans.
Okay.
I feel like they empowered African Americans. They were doing things. They're very like not strict, but they're not for games. And sometimes people need that structure. That's the word. They're good with structure.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about Malcolm X. Malcolm X was in the nation, and then at the time he started seeing some things he didn't like about the nations, and then he learned about Islam, mainstream Islam, and I guess you would say converted or transferred over, whatever. I don't know.
What do you think? How do you think the experience would be for you if you say one day you had to wake up and you had to be Black Muslim? So part
Wait,
of the Nation of Islam.
actually,
If you had to be part of
question.
so say one day you woke up and you had to be part of like the Nation of Islam, the Black Muslims, whatever you want to call it. How do you think you would adjust? Do you think it would be an adjustment for you?
No, I don't think there really be an adjustment because I know a few people who are in the nation, and they cover some. They sometimes cover like me, or their scarf is different with the tag or the way they wear their scarf. You wouldn't know. Like one person I'm thinking about in particular, you wouldn't know she was in the nation. You would have
do that. Do you think that you participate not in the Nation of Islam, but your sect? Do you think it's because it's colorblind, race blind? Like, is that a good way to describe it? You didn't hear me. That's right. My technical difficulty. Hello.
Yep. Hello.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see you. I don't see you. I don't know where you went. Oh, you're back. You have returned. Okay. All right, we're gonna do something. Matt, we're gonna take two. Matt, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna come back in. All right, Asiyah, 2 seconds. Yeah, you're gonna stay. I'm gonna come out, and go out, and come back in. All right, Matt.
Gotcha. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Sorry for the problems, but we'll get it fixed up real quick. Hope you're all having a great night. I am here behind the controls, as usual, loving it. Hope you are too. How you feel like the show's going so far, Asiyah?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
I did my bump. I feel good now.
Okay. That's why you went off camera. Yeah, Joker, he won't ask too tough of questions. He'll let you slide on some.
Thank God.
Yeah. He had me going pretty good. Oh, he's back. Oh, the pressure's off me. Where's my mouse?
Did you ever have pressure on you? All right.
Are you on your phone?
Yeah, we're gonna try this because I don't know what's going on my iPad. It's being a D nozzle. All right. All right. So back to the last question. Did you hear it or did you not hear it?
No, I didn't hear the last question.
Okay. Do you think that the Nation of Islam is less accepting than Islam in general because Islam in general is more colorblind and race blind?
So I can't no. From what I understand, they're more open to the race, but initiated in gang.
So you have to get so saying you got to get jumped into the Nation of Islam. Got it. So how do
I'm just
I know
joking.
you didn't say that. How do you view, like, I know we talked about Malcolm X. Another big name is Minister Farrakhan.
Mm-hmm.
Is he prominent on your stage, on your and your teachings? Do you learn about him, or is he kind of like just like an outsider?
I don't know nothing about that. Like, I don't know anything about him that I haven't looked into.
Really?
We're not
Interesting.
taught.
You're not taught. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That we are the nation of oh my God. You know that as Ray said, we are the nation of domination. What do
he might
you
not
think?
be able to see the nation. He's a little too late.
He might not. He might not be able to get in. Oh, he probably have like a peach suit. You have to wear a peach suit. But we're not going to talk about that, Ray. So kind of moving into the next step. You had this argument all the time. God versus Allah versus Jehovah. What's the difference, in your opinion?
We didn't have an argument like this. No.
Huh?
I think there's only one God.
Mm-hmm.
I said we don't have arguments about this. We have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your question, I think there's only one God. We all just call him something different. I feel like all three like main religions, Abrahamic religions, they all have something very similar. There's just like a slight variance. So clearly there's one God.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I view it.
We talked about, was it Christian Arabs we were speaking about? I had sent you a picture, and there was a lady. She had the hijab on. It was blue, and you were telling me about. I believe it was Christian Arabs. Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
What? You could definitely be wrong because you're wrong.
That's okay. Okay, that's fine. But I can't remember. But that's okay. We'll go to the next question. So you said what?
How you gonna bring up the subject? You don't remember. It's okay.
No, I brought up the subject, but I don't remember what you called them. I can't remember because they were wearing hijabs and they were all like dressed up in suits and they were meeting and they were having dinner outside. And I forgot. You don't remember the picture I sent you? It was a lady in a blue hijab, they were dressed a little different. They had like the outfits on. See, so if I don't remember what they're called, I don't remember what they're called. Anyway.
I don't even have this picture.
I'm going to send it to you later and you're going to go, oh.
Okay.
But going back to you kind of have like sort of 3 levels of discrimination against you.
Yeah.
So what's it like being Black, a female, and Muslim?
It depends if I'm in the north or the south.
Well, okay. Well, you grew up out here in Long Island and Bewood. What was it like here?
I don't claim Bewood. I claim Brooklyn. Okay. I feel like Northerners are more accepting. They've seen a lot more Muslims. In the South, people are always doing the double take. When I get pulled over in the North, I don't feel, I'm not going to say nervous, but there was one time when I was pulled over in the South. I really wanted to, but I didn't because I'm not violent. Out of this officer, he pulled over and his question, he pulled me over and he was like, "Oh, do you have weapons of mass destruction?" I don't know how to spell mass destruction, but I didn't. I was just like, "No, I don't." But that was in the South. He thought it was funny. He like giggled it off. I don't think that would happen in the North because they see more Muslims. So yeah, that was the face I wanted to make too. But listen, I was pulled over.
Okay. Go back to Ray's first question, please, Mr. Munoz, sir. What's the difference between stereotypical Muslim? And you go to the next part of it. I'm assuming that's 2 parts. Oh, Muslim women and traditional Muslim women. So what's the difference between stereotypical Muslim women and traditional? You said what?
Oh, okay. So I guess the stereotypical Muslim women, they don't speak up. They have to cover their face. They're very submissive. They don't have a voice. And that's not the case in our religion. Like the media the media portrays something that Islam is not. Islam gave women a lot of voices. I don't know what else I could say, but Islam gave women a lot of rights.
Do you feel that some of, So outsiders looking in, some of the strict, like I don't know how to say it, requirements of women of Islamic women, the strict requirements. Do you feel like they are hard, or do you think they were guided? They like give you guidance?
I definitely feel like it gives me guidance. I think
Pourquoi?
I don't speak Espanol.
Why?
Okay, so I think it gives you it gives me guidance. I think people focus so much on the way how Muslim women dress, they don't feel like they're free. But this was a picture you sent in the group, that there was a picture of a nun and there was a picture of a Muslim, and they dress similar, but yet nuns get respected and Muslims are oppressed. Make it make sense. So if clearly it seems like Christianity taught something similar to that, and now people have changed, and that's okay, whatever. Why are Muslims looked down upon because they still follow their faith and don't not cover or not cover? That sounded real dumb, but you know what I mean.
Do you feel like the tenets of Islam more people should follow? Do you think it would help if there was more modesty, so to speak, for women in general? Do you think it would help keep people grounded or structured, so to speak? Do you understand the question?
Not necessarily Islam, but I feel like all the three Abrahamic religions have the same structure, and if people follow that, things would be better.
Okay. So when we talked about
Like
getting discriminated, like not what? Oh,
not eat pork.
Not get tattoos. I know all of it. Now you had said that your quote was, "I'm discriminated against because I'm always getting randomly checked."
Oh yeah, I'm randomly checked. It is randomly
Okay.
checked at the airport. Just to clarify.
Okay. And you always got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, they have to actually like go through my bags, not just go through, the little machine that x-rays it. They'll go through my bags. One time I was going from Virginia back to New York, and then they were like, "Oh, you have to be searched a little bit more." It was a random check, like, okay, yeah, I've been through this before. And then as she was patting me down, she was like, "You must go through this a lot." Like, oh, why would you say that? That's interesting. That's very interesting for you to say that, TSA agent.
Did you experience it more after 9/11?
I wouldn't say I experienced it. I saw other people experience it. I feel like foreigners who are Muslims, they experienced it. Me and my family members, we didn't experience it as much. People might have said stuff,
but so one of the fun things of being Islamic in this world, I'm sure you get a whole bunch of fun questions every time you start a new job, every time you get new friends that are inquisitive and ask you the same dumb questions. What are some of the we'll say, what's some of the most ignorant questions you get, and then we'll talk about some of the most stupid questions. So what are some of the most ignorant questions you get?
Ignorant and stupid are the same thing to me, boo-boo. Let's see. Oh, this is my favorite. Do I take a shower with that thing? I remember like going to work and I had said like, no, I just hopped in the shower and I ran out and came to work. And they're like 5 minutes later, she was like, do you wash up with that? If I wash up with it and I told you I hopped in the shower and came to work, wouldn't I still be soaking wet? And don't you see I change it every time, like, Or do I ever take it off? If I change it, clearly I take it off. It's not like a mood ring. Listen, I have the dump.
Go ahead. What are some more?
What else? Oh,
What's
do you have
that? What's
hair
that?
under there?
Do you have what?
Do you have hair under there? Like, why does it matter? Why? It doesn't matter. Do I have hair under there? I have more hair than your bald head behind.
How many times do you get asked what your scarf is called?
Oh, that's often. That's definitely often. Or not necessarily. They were like, "Oh, I like your hijab. Did I say that right?" Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. I want to go to one of the statements. Quick QZ done. Bring up her statement, please, Mr. Munoz. How can you really get mad at what is being put out in the media about Muslims?
How can I really get mad? I'm not understanding your question.
We'll have to have her explain. Can you please explain the question, Z? Thank you, dear. What are some other questions that you commonly get? So we'll do some like when it's Ramadan. So Ramadan is what? Can you explain it to us simple-minded people? And by simple-minded, I mean me.
Oh, I know. Anyways, so Ramadan is the holy month in which Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset. Oh, one of the ignorant questions is, so if once you've already explained it, like, oh, we can't eat or drink, and there's other things that you can't do, but those are the things that people are fascinated on. You can't eat and drink during the month of Ramadan during daylight hours. They're like, so you can't even drink water? No, that's part of drinking.
So you can't take anything in, really?
Correct.
During the fasting. Okay.
There's exceptions for those who don't have to actually fast.
Okay.
Because I think that someone had said that they were like, oh my God, but I don't think I could do that because I have diabetes. Okay, that's fine. You have an exception. You have.
It's not going to be like, you can't have your insulin. Just let you die. It's okay. Do you pray 5 times a day?
I definitely try.
Okay. What about if you don't? Do you? And I know nobody's going to come down and like strike you, but do you feel personal guilt or like feel a kind of way because you didn't get to pray 5 times a day?
Yeah, because that's the connection between me and my Lord, and I feel like when I'm more on my being more religious or self-conscious about my religion and trying to practice fully, I feel calmer. I don't get more upset. I'm more accepting of if something bad happens. Like, you know what? God had this plan for me. You can get mad for 5 minutes and we're just going to keep this moving.
Okay. Some of the other tenets of Islam. Oh, you can't ever touch men, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't be touching men unless they're the word is your mahram, someone who is like a protector for you. So your father, your brother, your husband, your uncle.
Okay. What do you think? Do you think that's a misconception? Just like the hijab and the modesty and all that stuff. Do you think that's another misperception?
I'm not understanding your question. What is
the question? Do you think it's a misperception of sort of your religion and your people that, oh, I can never touch people at all. I can't touch men and stuff like that. Because do you have to explain that all the time? Do you ever pay attention to somebody who, you know?
I think people, I have
Go ahead.
stank face. I have stank
Yeah.
face, so people don't really come up to me anyway, so it's okay.
You know you're a fool, right? And I mean that in the best possible way. All right, can you bring back up Z's new question? The media makes Muslims out to be the worst people in the world after 9/11 because of what is being put out there. Do you get mad when people look at you differently?
Oh yes, because Christians do things all the time, but yet that's never broadcasted. It's always when something happens that an Arab does it or someone who of the faith of Islam does something, it's always like the Muslim did it. But yet, old boy who shot up the church was Christian, but we don't say that, right? Oh, they know what they're doing.
Can you bring up Patricia Carter's question? She wants to know, at what age do you start your kids, I guess, practicing the tenets of your faith? I mean, I know you always do it, but when you start with the hijab and all of that and can't touch people, guys.
When they're like out of age, so for the girls, it's when they hit puberty. So when they get their period, when they start menstruating, that's when they're supposed to start covering. For me, because my mother always covered, I wanted to emulate my mother. So before I hit puberty, I was covering. When I got my hair did, we were showing those. So I was already in practice to start wearing it before I had to wear it.
What about your kids?
My kids, I think I'm going to do the same thing. Hopefully, you know, they see me wearing it. They see my mother wearing it. They see other people around wearing it, and there won't be any issue like, oh, I don't want to wear it, when you have all these other people around you wearing it.
Are they too young for you to start covering them now? Do they take to the hijab and all that stuff, or no?
Oh, Heffa, Jenna? No, she be taking that off real quick.
She not going
Afifa,
to.
she the stank one, even if I'm just playing with her, she ripped that off real quick. But Afifa, she'll leave it on for a little while. But it's not even we're being in the house and I'm just dressing up with them.
Right. Are you kind of like preparing them to get used to it?
No, I just be wanting to do it just to see how cute they look.
Ray, shut can you bring up? No, I'll do Ray's question. Can you bring up quick Z? Do you feel some type of way when a non-Muslim woman wears a hijab? Is it offensive to you?
No, I just find it very interesting. Like, okay, whatever. I think now it's starting to become sad. Like, oh, you want to wear it just like how certain people started wearing braids. When Black people have been doing it all this time, now all of a sudden it's a fad. Everybody can do them. Yeah.
All right. So as we traverse further into parenting, and it's different being a parent when you're Muslim, right?
Yeah, because you gotta tell them not to eat pork.
You and Ray and this idiots. Hold on, where's Ray? I'm gonna bring up Ray's quote. Ray wants to know, people, Ray and Asiyah do this all the time, just so you know. Again, close family, friends. I eat too much pork to get it into.
The Bible says you shouldn't eat pork either. I'm just saying.
So, okay, so let me ask, that's a good question. How do you deal with somebody who wants to convert to Muslim and they've always had kind of bad habits or bad ways that go against a lot of the tenets?
So if someone wanted to
Convert to
then
Muslim.
convert to Islam.
Convert to Islam.
Islam.
Yeah, what you said. I'm not going to fight with you. If they want to convert, how do you feel if they've had bad habits and you just like,
what's a
this
bad
stuff is
habit? What's a
a
bad
bad
habit?
habit in terms of the tenants?
Oh, listen, that's between them and God. All I do is tell you or show you where it says don't do this, don't do that. That's between you and God. Because I don't want you judging my sins. Mind your business, I'm going to mind mine.
Okay, so as we move further into parenting, I found a quote about yelling, and I know you do not yell.
I don't. What? Do I look like I?
No, you're such a sweet human.
I know.
The quote says, "Yelling silences your message. Speak quietly so your children can hear your words instead of your voice."
You want me to?
Yep.
What I think about?
Yep.
That quote does make sense because I feel like sometimes if I'm yelling at the kids, especially Adam, he's not going to take it in. He's not taking it in. So I'm going to say over the past year, I've been trying to change my parenting instead of me yelling, or I do yell, but then I take a step back and then come address it later, like, you're not supposed to do this 55 million times.
Right.
So why are you doing it? I have. Listen, mind your business, Patricia.
So in the last year, you've been trying to convert. So you've been trying to have more conversations.
Yeah.
Having more conversations, good. Which brings me to a hot button topic: disciplining styles. Yeah, we know you heavy-handed. So, do you believe in spanking as a discipline, or do you believe more in just like a pop? And for people that don't know, a pop is a pop. Asiyah doesn't do that because she bruises people. But go ahead.
I'm just heavy-handed. Y'all are just
I
sensitive
know.
skin. Y'all just sensitive skin. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the severity of what it is.
Okay.
Adam hasn't got beat, a beating in a long time. He gets pinched and yelled.
Mm-hmm.
The girls, they get popped.
Why is that? Why does he get pinched and yelled at? Because
I feel like it doesn't even affect him. Like it's not going to do anything. So why exert all that energy when I try to talk to him, or just give you a nice little pinch? Real nice.
Does he respond to the pinches?
Sometimes.
Do you look at disciplining as like more around intimidation or more around education?
Both.
Expound.
I feel like one, you should be learning, and then two, not intimidation, but be scared of what your consequences are going to be.
Mm-hmm. When we're disciplining, because you said the girls get popped, how do you feel about parents that are overly, or what could be viewed as overly aggressive with their children?
I don't think I've ever seen a parent really overly aggressive with their child. Unless their child really, like, if they drop an ice cream cone and then they're getting like spanked, that's crazy. Like, chill. It's just
There's levels to it.
Yeah, there's levels. Like, that's been a pinch real quick, or I shout like, "Why'd you do that?" I'd been told you stop jumping 5 times. You didn't want to listen.
I had Helen on earlier this year. I don't know if you saw. Do you consider, and she was a single mom, do you consider yourself a single mom?
No. Because I feel like single moms don't have support. And I have a lot.
You feel like single moms don't have support?
Yeah, it seems what single moms are painted out to be is that they do everything for themselves. I'm a single mother who has support.
But the buck stops with you. So doesn't that?
I guess, yeah.
I said the buck stops with you. So in other
No,
words, like you have. Oh, you did hear me. So you have the final say, because the kids are with you 92% of the time. And yes, you do have support, but now since you ventured to the other side of the world, do you feel like more of a single mom?
In some aspects, yeah. So that's why I'm waiting for y'all to move down here.
Does that make it harder?
It makes me stronger.
Oh, it makes you stronger. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that. So we were talking about. I asked you. Oh my God, what did he say? Pop it back up, please, Mr. Munoz, sir. I didn't
He said, "What if they drop a bean?"
Oh my God, this guy's a fool. Do you eat bean pies?
Actually, I don't really eat bean pies. I mean, occasionally, but I'm not like. Oh, I'm not looking for a bean pie. If they have it, I'll eat it, but I'm not looking for one.
Ray, you're an idiot.
That's the nation. The nation.
That's the name. Oh, okay. Ray is a fool. So we talked about polygamy versus polygyny. Is that it?
No,
we did.
Polygyny.
Say
versus
it again.
Yeah. Polygyny versus polygamy.
Yes.
Polygamy is the term everyone knows. So polygamy means whatever person is able to have multiple partners, wives, or husbands. They can go for the man or the female. Polygyny is. I didn't say all that.
I did.
You did. I didn't say that.
Okay.
Anyways. Oh no,
so
they
polygyny.
have an open.
Okay.
So polygyny is when a man can have up to 4 wives.
Up to 4 wives. Why is that?
For multiple reasons why it came about in the religion, because there had been wars during a certain time and there were widows. So people had kids, they needed a father figure. There's not exceptions. There's regulations to a man having multiple wives. He has to provide for all of them equally.
It's expensive. That sounds super expensive to me.
Exactly. You have to spend time with them equally. So it's a common but not common thing. Men who have sense don't rush into it.
Oh, you better not. One's hard. Love you, Patty.
Yeah, one has like multiple personalities.
But do you like polygyny, or do you think that it's stressful? Do you think it's strenuous? Do you think it makes things easier, harder?
For certain people, I think it's
no for
strenuous.
you.
For me,
for Asiyah, yeah.
For Asiyah, I would be okay with it because I don't like a man up under me all the time anyway. So
Well, you don't like people, but that's besides the
That
point.
is the whole point.
So you don't like the presence of the man all the time?
No, it's not necessarily like. Let me have a. I feel like when you're away from someone for a little while, your heart grows fonder.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen marriage. Okay, so I've seen women in polygyny
Mm-hmm.
compared to not all women, I
Mm-hmm.
should say. So the rest, I'm about to say it's not all. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So a woman who's in polygyny, when it's her night,
Mm-hmm.
if she's on the phone with her friend, she'll be like, "Oh, my husband," and get off the phone. And now a woman who has her husband there all the time might just stay on the phone with her friend, like chit chat, be there all the whole time. And I'm not going to say she's not appreciative of her husband, but it seems like women who are in polygyny appreciate her husbands a little bit more. One, because you get that space, and then two, when you have him, it's your time.
Mm. Do you feel like that is a contributor to the high divorce rate and generally accepted ideas of marriage?
Say the question again.
Do you think that that is one of the reasons why you have a high divorce rate in what is like the traditional idea of marriage?
That social media, people not knowing how to treat others,
Mm-hmm.
is why the high divorce rate, not knowing how to communicate.
You had another quote. Since we're in like the kind of the parenting relationship kind of section, and you talked about children expressing themselves, and you got an expresser. Her name is Jenna Michelle. Her middle name's not Michelle, but her name is Jenna, and
Half of
she's becoming very
that's the
expressive.
name.
And Adam, yes.
Yeah.
You had a very profound quote. It said, "Express what you want to express, but you're going to do what I told you." It was on point.
I don't recall saying that. Yes,
That's
I do.
okay.
Anyways, so I think I felt like my parents didn't let me express myself. I will listen to you, and if
Mm-hmm.
your idea or what you have to say, like, oh, I want to do that right now, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to listen to that. But if
Right.
I know better,
Mm-hmm.
put your socks on before your shoes, not your shoes before your socks. I'm going to listen to you, but I'm still tell you, put your socks on your shoes.
Does that engender in them a sense of expressing themselves, like learning that I need to speak what I feel? Might not be right, but I need to speak what I feel.
Wait, say the beginning of the question.
Do you think
What was the
that
beginning
like
of the question? I didn't hear
grows
that.
in them? Do you think that grows and genders in them a sense of the importance of expressing how they feel? Because even though you're mom,
Yeah.
like you could still, I don't want to say debate because you don't really debate with the kids because they're so little. Adam a little bit. Is that why they feel like they can say what they feel even if it's wrong?
Yeah, I let them say what they want for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
With
Next
Adam,
question. Go ahead.
he's more expressive. He definitely says stuff, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay. I'll let him say it, and then if there's something that I need to clarify, then I'll clarify. But if he's just saying random stuff that I don't know what he's talking about, he can go ahead and keep talking about it.
Adam would never do
that. Okay.
Adam would never do that. So how do all of these things come into play in your marriage?
It's getting too personal, and y'all don't pay me. Wait a minute, okay? Okay, what's the question exactly?
Okay, how does like the idea of polygyny and the idea of parenting, how does that all come into play? We'll do it in your idea of marriage and of your expectations of marriage. Oh boy, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm sorry, Allah, take the wheel.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I would be open to polygyny.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was a monogamous marriage, I would try to keep the mindset of a polygynous marriage.
Mm. That's very progressive.
Okay.
Do you? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were done. Carry on.
No, I'm done. No, I'm done.
Oh. All right. So for all intents and purposes, you are single, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that means you down there in North Carolina looking for a man.
Whoa. You over here dropping too much information about me, okay?
I don't know what you're talking about. What's your feelings on non-Muslim men versus Muslim men?
I don't feel like I have anything in common with a non-Muslim man. I don't know. I feel like
To marry?
To marry, yeah.
Or in general?
To marry.
Okay. What about Muslim men that are supposed to be very religious and following the tenets, and they're kind of like, well, on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I will, but the rest of the week, I'm gonna be on a thought tour, or I'm not gonna pray, or I'm gonna have some pork chops, whatever it may be.
That's between them and the Lord, but I wouldn't want that to be my partner. I wouldn't want that to be my life partner. Because
your life partner. Ooh.
Yeah. Because I feel like your spouse should reflect you.
Mm-hmm.
So if one is not doing the things that you're doing,
mm-hmm.
then you might start falling astray too, or falling off as well. Y'all should be at least even leveled.
Okay. So you guys should be equally faithful.
For the most part, yeah.
In your search for a Muslim man in North Carolina.
Ain't nobody searching over here, boo boo.
Oh, okay. Allegedly. Co-parenting.
My washing machine would be fixed by now if I was searching.
Well, you need to get it together. You need to put on like your share hijab or something. What do you do with co-parenting? If you have different co-parenting philosophies.
What do I do with co-parenting?
Yes.
Explain your question more.
The look on your face. You answered with the look on your face. You were just like, how do you think a person should approach co-parenting? Because we're talking about parenting in general. So we'll move it away from you. How do you think two co-parents should work together?
Everything should be in the best interest of the child. And then also, whoever has the child, mother or father, when the primary parent is falling short for whatever reason or needs a break for whatever reason, the other parent shouldn't make that parent feel bad.
So you think even if the other parent isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, not paying child support or not doing visitation or whatever they're not doing, you think that the co-parent should be picking the other co-parent up and uplifting them?
No. In the beginning, if the person had good history prior and then they fell off,
Mm-hmm.
then that's, we could have a conversation. What's going on?
Right.
But if you started off down and you just keep on going down, then no, there's no excuses. Sorry, no.
Okay, cool. You're a tough cookie. What are you looking for in a man?
Hold up, we did not go over this question.
What are you talking about? We talked about marriage. Yes, we did.
No, we didn't. We did not go over this question.
Oh,
I'm not looking for a man.
No, we didn't.
I'm not looking for anyone.
I did not say you are looking for a man. Let me. Okay, listen to the question. What are you looking for in a man?
I'm not looking for one right now, so there's no
I didn't
need
say
to
you were looking for one. All right, so let's say 5 years go by and you move back to New York like you're supposed to be, and you decide that you're ready to foray back into the world of dating. You go on to www.muslimdate.com, you find some nice guys. What are you looking for in a life partner? Boom.
Okay. They have to know their religion, and they would have to strive to practice the religion. Like I said, I'm not perfect, so as long as you know what you're doing is wrong, and you acknowledge what you're doing is wrong, and you're trying to correct what you're doing, then that's a little leeway. What are you gonna say?
Nothing. I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Someone who's supportive.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't really put
Well, that's a
thought
good
into this
beginning.
because I'm not looking.
Okay. So can you bring up Patricia's last comment, Matt? This should be on the list. Someone to fish your watch.
That too.
If you happen to work in an appliance store, come see Asiyah. She is at anyway, so we're gonna move into the last section, which is free association, where we just talk about general topics. There's only gonna be a couple.
Okay.
Religion versus spirituality.
I think you have to be spiritual to be religious.
Okay.
There's no verse.
There's no what?
There's no verse. You have to be spiritual to be religious to me.
Okay. Non-Muslim marriages versus Muslim marriages. What is your take on it?
You're gonna have to elaborate on that one.
How do you compare a non-Muslim marriage to a Muslim marriage outside of the polygyny?
For the most part, they're pretty much the same. It's two people who get along. They find something common.
But what if you don't like people like yourself? How do you get along?
We did not like a lot not like people together sitting at home.
You're a hot mess. Being that I am a tattoo person, what do you think about tattoos?
That's your body, not mine. I think some are pretty. Some are pretty, and some are like Why did you get that? Ha 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 ha.
I don't know why somebody would get that. That's so weird.
I know, right?
But would you do like a henna tattoo?
Oh yeah, I've done henna.
Oh, you've done henna.
But,
So why wouldn't you?
okay, so I've always done henna on my hands. I've never done a henna tattoo on my body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you could be any other religion, and I know you don't know them, but just based off what you see, what religion appeals to you the most?
Orthodox Jews, Hasidic Jews,
Why?
because they're structured. I like structure.
Oh, okay. So you like how they do things very much the same, and their togetherness, I think, is very strong too.
Mm-hmm. You're not for the play.
You're not gonna what?
They're not for the play.
They're not at all. They are not for the play at all. Another quote for you, not from you, but another quote for you. Children don't need more things. The best toys a child can have is a parent who gets down on the floor and plays with them.
That is true. They appreciate
Exactly.
that more.
They do. This has to be Joker stuff. Oh, yes, he is. John Bent, sir.
Wait, what did it say?
Oh, bring it back. Bring it back, Matt.
This has to be.
So let's explain our dynamic. This is us joking around, not like the serious answers, but this is what we do all the time. Like when we did our pre-interview, Mr. Bent, this is what we did for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. I don't know why. Listen, make sure you have my check deposited at the end of the year, okay?
I will. They're asleep right now. So you witnessed what, Matt? Please expand. I think that one of the important things about friendship is that, oh my God. I think one of the most important things about friendship is being able to let the person be themselves on their own terms. And it wasn't, so, backstory, me and Asiyah didn't like grow up knowing each other. Her and Patty are very close. And you kind of, like, we just kind of met. And it was, okay, be friends. Or don't be friends. I don't care.
My husband, I'm sorry.
You were like, all right. Even though she didn't come to our wedding, no shade, but shade. Can you bring up Patty's question, Matt?
Because I was in Georgia. When you're having your last boy. I had him 9 years ago.
I think she means when you have your next last boy.
No, I had him 9 years ago. That's when I had my last boy.
Poor future son of yours. So if you found a life partner and said life partner wanted to have another kid, would you consider it? Or would you like, no, motherfucker?
It would have to be like some years into the marriage. You're not popping out babies off the rip.
Why not? You need to have another one.
Once you and Patty have another one. We have another one.
So when I told you when you get to 5, then we'll have number 5.
No. Technically, at Jenna's Akika, that party, the party, right? You said, when you have another one, we'll have one. And
I said number 2.
Voila, Afifa came around. So when are you going to have another one?
After you have your next 2. Book it.
Hey,
By the time you have it, you're talking turn the tables on a monster. She's not. We have this debate all the time. A lot of these conversations this conversation me and Asiyah having is a conversation we've had a lot of times. But something that I think it's but yeah, you're just losing your mind with that other stuff about having more kids. It's all right. So now 2 questions left, Miss Asiyah.
Okay.
Let's say 10-year-old Asiyah, 20-year-old Asiyah, and 30-year-old Asiyah are at dinner together. What is the conversation
Oh,
like?
Lord. I don't. Oh gosh. 10-year-old Asiyah. I don't remember what I was doing at 10 years old. I think 10-year-old Asiyah, I'm telling her, listen to your mother. Listen to your mother. She will not street you. Listen fully to her. Don't take half her advice. Listen to her fully. 20-year-old Asiyah, don't try to grow up so fast. Listen.
Yep.
Being an adult is not cool. It's okay. Chill. And 30-year-old Asiyah, we still having that conversation, so I don't know.
Are you still having that conversation?
Because we're in 30s now. Like, you gotta. We're still learning the path of being 30.
All right, I lied. I got another question. So let's say you could go back to any year in your life, and that would be the year you lived forever. So let's say you went back to, say, 21. That would be your life. You lived 21 over and over again. What year would you go back to, and why?
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, sorry. You told me not to say that, right? I'm unaware of that question. I don't know. Maybe 23. And don't ask me why.
Okay. How come?
Oh, I like how you played that little word.
That's what I do.
I
didn't say why. I said how come.
Yeah, I know, but it still has the same meaning.
Don't ask you.
I don't know. I felt like I had things. I felt like I was in a good space. I was happy with that space.
All right, ma'am. Last question. This is probably
You said
the most
last
important
question
one.
4 questions ago.
No, I said we would be finishing soon. I said I was going to ask 2 more. Then I said I lied. I had a question. So now this is the last question. If you could be any superhero or supervillain, who would you be and why? And yes, you can choose one of each if you would like.
I thought about this question when we did a little pre-interview, and then I forgot what I was going to say.
All right, we'll
Okay,
simplify. Do you have an answer?
No, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Can it be any character? Can it be like Star Wars? Can it be DC? Can it be
It could
Marvel?
be anything you want it to be. Be anything you want it to be. There's no parameters.
Okay, well, simplify it.
You be who?
You were gonna simplify the give me options because I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna. Do you have? What superpower would you want? We could do that.
Say that again.
What superpower would you want? Would you want to be able to fly? Would you want to be able to run on water? Would you want to have telepathy or something like that? Did you?
Yeah, I did. I definitely did just one.
I know.
Ooh. I would want to be the Flash because he can go back in time sometimes. Don't ask me why. That's probably not really my real answer, but that's what came to mind.
Okay. That's a good answer. The Flash. Wow. Miss Asiyah Small. I thank you for...
Whoa. What? Why is you putting out my whole government?
It's on the thing. What are you talking about? Thank you for coming on Everyday Experts. It was a very interesting and enthralling conversation as always with you, where you're just difficult. Next week we are going to be having the book launch for Love and Poetry. Miss Asiyah is going to be returning. She is also going to be joined by the rest of the people who torment my life, my dear
Please,
darling
you
wife.
interesting. You know your text messages are lit.
So
Okay.
they make my life interesting. My darling wife is going to be on. I'm going to X-Ray if he's still there. He's going to be on. He might not know he's going to be on, but I'm going to tell him anyway. My friend Latoya. You did know. My friend Latoya. My friend Kristen's going to come back. So we're going to have some return people. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to read some of the excerpts from the book. I'll be giving away 2 books, and I'm probably going to give away 2 or 3 shirts. So tune in. You can order books on the show, and they will be out to you in 2 or 3 weeks. October slate will be up on the 25th. We have some very interesting guests coming on and people who are in the known. Miss Asiyah Small, do you have anything else that you would like to say? Do, believe, espouse now that you want to drop?
My Cash App is Aussie90.
Oh my God. I can't say that to you. So, in the words of the beautiful, beautiful Muslim people around the world, peace be upon you, my sister. Thank you for tuning in to Everyday Experts. Like, subscribe, comment, follow, share. Everybody come back for next week's episode. Thank you, Mr. John Gippen. You have a good night as well. Check out the book. It's actually pretty good for once. So thank y'all.